with another episode of Sports Talk with the Average Guy. This is Monday, man, 9 o'clock, baby. So today on the sports topics we'll be talking about the recaps for the NFL, the Rams versus the Saints, and the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Patriots. We'll break that. We'll give our opinions and break that down a little bit. Also, we'll be talking about the Adrian Broner thing versus Pac-Man. Let's just say I'll start off with I was right. Well, no, I would say I was wrong. I was wrong. He saved a lot and not Walmart. And also we'll be talking about some things that happened in the NBA actually over this weekend. So let's start breaking down and let's start breaking this down, man. Sports Talk with the Average Guy. Let's start talking about the Rams versus the Saints game. Lauren, give me your outlook on this Rams versus Saints game.
Highway robbery. Highway robbery. I'm sorry. If the NFL could replay a game, this would be the game to replay. Ooh. I mean, it was, in the words of the great Stephen A. Smith, it was egregious. It was an egregious non-call. I couldn't believe it, man. I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, where's the flag? And here's my thing. So the NFL changed the rules this year about defenseless receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you don't call pass interference. It wasn't pass interference. It was helmet-to-helmet contact. Helmet-to-helmet contact. You got to call one of the two. You got two options. But they thought they had three, which was the no call. Because, I mean, think about this. With the time that was left on the clock,
mm-hmm.
if they get a first down, they can run out the clock.
Yeah.
The Rams had 2 timeouts left. So even with them taking their 2 timeouts, the Saints still could have ran out the clock. Kicked the field goal, scored a touchdown, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, that was the absolute worst call. I'm not going to say that I've ever seen. But with the game on the line, that was the worst call I've ever seen. Worst call I've ever seen. I mean, I understand football is a very bang-bang sport. And so it's hard to time everything up. But he was a good 3 to 4 seconds. A good 3 to 4 seconds ahead of that ball. No, not seconds, but yards. 3 or 4 yards ahead of that ball. So the Saints got robbed. Add this on to what happened last year. It's 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row that something happened last minute of the game that's cost them a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, not once, twice.
But both times it was their fault.
This was their fault. This one.
Both times it was their fault. That whole situation is being overblown. It's being completely overblown. They miss calls. They miss calls sometimes. They miss calls. Like you said, it was a bang play. Now it was egregious. It wasn't something where you look like, oh, they're just cheating. It wasn't as, trust me, it wasn't as bad as that roughing the passer they called on old boy from the Chiefs on Tom Brady. Well, nothing as bad as that.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
Nothing as bad as that. That's the one that should be talked about. The one from the Saints game, it was a bang play. It was something they missed. I'm pretty sure NFL, matter of fact, I know the NFL will look at it and say, yeah, we screwed up on that one. But I mean, the Saints lost that. The Saints just went ahead and lost that. They didn't add any more dimension to their offense. They sputtered. They kind of sputtered out and, lost steam toward the end of the season. And they really weren't. They were struggling to really get over 20 points when they were, easily putting up over 40 at the start of the season because, that, they got that 1-2 punch with Ingram and Kamara, and they got Michael Thomas. But as far as that, who else can they really go to as far as receivers? I saw Ted Ginn made a big play, but consistently, and they just kind of sputtered out, and their defense has kept them in a lot of these games. Shoot, and on top of that, they just let the Rams come right back again. It's the same thing that happened the first time they played. This is why I picked the Rams. I with it now. Midway through the season, I picked it to beat the Patriots and the Saints. But last week, you see, I went with you, Randy. I went with Chiefs and the Rams, which one of those guys didn't make it, unfortunately. But they Rams went in there and played, man. They went up there and they stayed in it, and Saints just couldn't put any more points on the board. Building off of that 13-0 lead, man. It's just kind of how they've been just toward the end of the season. They just really haven't been able to get their offense off the ground and put points on the board, and ended up being their downfall.
All right, Lauren, do you want to say something real quick? Because you look like you wanted to say something. I see that look on your face.
God damn it, Gilmore, I'm not going to let you be disrespectful, damn it. The refs blew that shit 100%. Look, you know me. I'm a Chiefs, die hard till I die. But if you had to pick one game out of those two games, if you had to pick one where which team should have went, you gotta say the Saints. You gotta say the Saints, because here's the thing. Don't call pass interference. Don't call it. Helmet to helmet contact. They've been calling that all year. They've been calling it relatively consistent all year, at least from a defensive perspective. Offensively, they miss it all the time, but defensively, they've gotten it right more times than they've gotten it wrong. When you see a dude's head turn, that's helmet to helmet contact, man. Like it was a blown call. It was a complete blown call. The league has called New Orleans and admitted they fucked up the call, but they can't take it back at this point. I mean, the game's over. You can't replay it. But it was egregious.
Like I said, he played back in the day. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, if they had instant replay back in the day, there would be no immaculate reception. That Franco Harris, the ball touched the ground. Stuff happens sometimes, and it just doesn't go the way everybody wants it to go. Now what we're going to say, that the NFL had something out against the Saints. It was a conspiracy to get the Los Angeles Rams in the championship game, versus New Orleans Saints. I think it would have been a better story. It would have been a better story to have New Orleans in there,
I would never say that, because at this point, I'm not going to disrespect the integrity of the league yet. But this was a missed call. I mean, to me, it's black and it's white. Like, it was a missed call. Now, don't get me wrong. I coach youth sports. I tell my kids, we're not going to depend on the refs to win or lose this game for us. We have to win it for ourselves. So yeah. I'm not taking that away. I'm not taking that away by any stretch of the imagination. But this is why I say that this particular one I have a problem with. If they get a first down, they can essentially run out the clock and the game's over. It'd be different if it was 3-4 minutes left in the game. But with the time that was on the clock, that's a first down. They can essentially take 3 knees, kick a field goal with 5 seconds left, and the game is over. Game is over.
Man, he wasn't going to catch that ball anyway, man.
It wasn't about it. No, he wasn't going to catch the ball.
The way he got drilled, he smacked that dude NFL blitz style.
Yeah.
That nigga said, fuck the rules, man. That's what happens.
Here's the other thing about that. That's the second time that same player did that in the game. Same game. Second time.
But you don't think those players don't do that on purpose? Just like on the offensive line, you have players that they hold every play. It's just about, they do it on purpose. It's just, a lot of times they not gonna get caught. And a lot of times on plays like that, a lot of times guys take risk and they risk getting a penalty. But if they get away with it, there's the reward side of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he went with, because it's so bang bang, and it's something like you said. He had a helmet on the play and everything. It was probably just something where at that very moment the ref might have blinked too long, and that's what screwed it all up. You know what I'm saying?
You got two referees watching that play. You got the back judge, you got the side judge. One of them saw that shit. One of them saw it. They were just too afraid to pull that flag out.
Why? Why not? They would be more afraid. They would be more afraid to what do I say? They'd be more obligated to pull it out. Matter of fact, get my words right. They'd be more obligated to pull it out because it's the home squad. They in New Orleans. Why would they not?
Okay, well, if it's the home squad, then let's talk about fixing it.
You said what?
I said if we talking about if we saying that the home squad is gonna get the benefit of the doubt, then the game was fixed.
It was fixed now, man.
No, I'm just countering your argument with another argument.
It's just a bad call. It's something that'll be talked about, just like the Dez Bryant in Green Bay. That was a bad call. Sometimes it costs teams. It just happens like that. That's why you can't put the game in the refs' hands. But it just happens. It just happens like that sometimes, man. It's not something.
Two fouls on the same damn play. Two fouls on the same damn play. Two fouls on the same damn play.
Like that. It just be like that sometimes, man. You know, it just be like that, man. It wasn't no big deal, man. The referee's been screwing up since the beginning of time, man. The Saints should have never been in that position. They had control. This was the second time they did that. This is the second time that they played the Rams. They knew what kind of team the Rams were, and they let them hang around. They were up 35-14 the last game, and the Rams came all the way back, all off passing plays. And it did the same thing. It's an explosive offense. Like, they just let them hang around like that, and they found themselves in trouble.
True. All right. So
I'll give you that.
Oh, is he conceding? Hold on. Wait a minute now.
Oh no, I'm right. I'm just saying that they shouldn't have let this go down to the fourth quarter. I will admit that wholeheartedly. That they shouldn't have let this come down to having to put a drive together this late in the game, or that late in the game, in order to, keep the Rams off the field. Like, they should have schemed a little bit better. I think this goes to show you maybe that they weren't as multi-dimensional as we thought they were. Now, they were missing a couple of key weapons on offense. Ben Watson didn't play. I think he had some appendectomy or something wrong with his all that type of shit. And then they were down another receiver too. But so I mean, and I gotta give credit where credit's due. In the last game, Talib didn't play. He didn't play in that last game when he affected the game. The Rams line were able to get into those passing lanes that Drew Brees likes to throw in, get a little pressure on and force some bad throws. So I'm not gonna take anything away from the Rams. They played to the end, and I mean, a 57-yard field goal to win. Fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Most kickers in the league can't make a 57-yard field goal. You know, so shout out to Greg Zuerlein. You know what I'm saying, for putting it right down the middle. But yeah, man, that one's just tough, man. When when it's for all the marbles and it's something that obvious, that's what makes it tough. When it's for all the marbles.
All right, and before we move to this next topic, if you have any questions and that you are watching, the number is 816-944-0898. If you want to get into,
call me
Tyrone. Wait,
it happens sometimes. Well, it happens sometimes. One of the greatest moments in sports has a foul in it. Michael Jordan hitting that final shot against Byron Russell. That was a push off. The series before that against Reggie Miller, and I think it was about it was game 4. Either game 3 or game 4 in that series. Reggie Miller pushed off of Michael Jordan, clearly pushed off of him, and ran around and caught the ball and hit the 3, the go ahead, that ended up winning the game. And refs should have clearly saw that, but they blew the call. Whether it was fixed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have found themselves in that position.
We ain't gonna talk about no goddamn NBA refs. We know that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, man, that might be a bad example. That might be a bad example right there. Yeah, I'll delete all that. Yeah, you cut that out.
And so, if we have any Chiefs fans, that'll be watching. You can hit 816-944-0898 to give your outlook on what happened this weekend. So, on that note, let's move over to Kansas City.
What happened this weekend?
We'll break it down.
What happened this weekend?
Something happened to where, what I'm saying, great teams got close to the Super Bowl, unlike certain teams.
I'm feeling somebody getting ready to be real disrespectful. So I'm gonna have to defend my home squad. God damn it! Las Vegas fakers.
The Kansas City Blue Balls.
Teach us so much. The name of this episode, Kansas City Blue Balls. All right. So, yeah, all right. On my outlook of this, watching it, I'm saying going into the game, when I guess one of the airlines, I don't know what airline it was, they was bringing in the Patriots or whatever the day of, and I guess the pilot was like touchdown Kansas City, and I don't know if that had that gave somebody a little juice, but let's actually break down the actual game. Tom Brady, it happened like we would see, like we thought it would happen, I should say. He was gonna pass, we're gonna run the ball because our run defense is always been suspect the whole year. I don't know why everybody's just now saying, "Oh, your run defense was trash last night." It's been trash the whole year. And they you said what?
Garbage all year.
Right. And literally, they found the weakest spot in the defense, and they exploited it every time. So, especially for the run, the run that side on the left side, he just kept Sonny Michel just kept going into that little side. John, what's his name? John White. Is it John White? All right. Well, the guy with the last name White. James White was. We were getting killed on the third downs. They were just slaughtering us with him. In the first half, he had I think they had 12 third down conversions, and it was all because of James White. So he was slaughtering us, you know what I'm saying, on the ground and passing. And we still don't know how to tackle for some dumbass reason. These are NFL players, and we still don't know how to tackle on defense. But yeah, I'll let you guys get yours out before I continue mine. Lauren, I'll let you go first.
Well, yeah, it was a rough way to go out. Now what I will say is we were thoroughly beat. Like, I'm not even gonna argue about that. We were thoroughly beat in that game. When you look at total yards, when you look at third down conversions, You know what I mean? Hell, we just couldn't get off the field on third down. If we could get off the field on third down, we may have gave ourselves an opportunity, to win it in regulation. One thing I do want to point out is I saw a lot of classic Andy Reid. Now, I saw some things that he has shown his evolution, but I also saw some classic Andy Reid. There were two things that I saw that I was like, classic Andy Reid. The number one thing was being a little bit too confident in his abilities. He didn't really I didn't really feel like he had a sense of urgency in the first half. I don't think that he was really understanding the moment and helping Pat Mahomes through that first half. Get him some quick passes. Get the ball out of your hands. Don't have him dropping back and holding the ball. New England understands. They've been here time and time again. They understand this moment. And I'm not saying Pat Mahomes didn't, but you still got to coach him through it. This has been the biggest moment in his pro career.
Hold on there. Hold on. You said New England's been in that moment time and time again. Andy Reid's been in this moment time and time again. Why don't he learn?
Tendencies. Honestly, it's tendencies.
I mean, time.
That's why I said classic Andy Reid.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to point out is sometimes you got to learn to ride the hot hand. And with that being said, guess who probably shouldn't have played last night? Eric Berry. Eric Berry probably shouldn't have played last night. He probably shouldn't have played. You ride the hot hand the last 2-3 weeks when Eric Berry was either playing in spots or he wasn't playing at all. The secondary wasn't that bad. Those safeties, they were young, they were raw, but they were able to put themselves in the right positions to make plays. And I feel like Andy Reid went back to Eric Berry because he was old faithful. But if you watch Eric Berry out on the field, he didn't even look healthy. You know what I'm saying? He was really struggling and laboring up and down the field. That's how Gronk was able to get off the line at the end of the game and get a few big plays. But honestly, the Chiefs were outplayed on offense and for the most part on defense. Or totally on defense, but for the most part on offense. Let me rephrase what I was saying there. Pat Mahomes, though, Pat Mahomes is the truth. The truth. And I'm serious when I say that. That's the one thing you could take away from this game that is a positive, is that barring injury, you got your quarterback for the next 10 years. 10 to 15 years, you got your quarterback. So now you got to figure out how to build around that. Our defensive scheme is not working. I think it's beyond past time for Bob Sutton to go.
Yeah.
Our linebacking core start over pretty much. Your secondary, you have a couple pieces, but you need to kind of fill in some blanks. I tell you what I would love to see them do is see what they can do to try to pick up Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is still relatively young. I think he's been in the league about 7-8 years now. Pick him up for 3-4 years, see what he could do. If he's healthy, of course. But we definitely need some secondary help. Anything outside of the front four. And I don't like the scheme and how we played yesterday. Tom Brady likes to throw in passing lanes. So what does that mean? It means you need to run stunts. Maybe you line up Justin Houston and D Ford on the same side of the line sometimes. Maybe, you have Chris Jones break outside and have, D Ford or Justin Houston break inside. Run some stunts to kind of, force that line to make some decisions, get a little bit more pressure on Brady. Because that's one thing, we got no pressure on Brady for the most part. We had 0 sacks and maybe about 4 or 5 pressures. We could talk about the egregious roughing the passer penalty. We can talk about the countless uh, plays where I would say that the ball wasn't caught. Now, we did miss one that we should have challenged, but there were probably two that I would say weren't catches that were called catches. And there's a difference between 3rd and 10 and 1st and 10, offensively and defensively, how you think of your scheme. And so who knows if that changes the game? I don't know. But I think 14-0 at halftime, you was fighting uphill against a team that's been here, has done that. So the pressure was on the Chiefs the whole game, the entire game. And we just couldn't pull it through. So, I mean, hell of a season. But, you know, take nothing away from New England. They played a hell of a game, had a hell of a game plan. They executed it damn near to perfection. Now, you know, you had the interception where D4 lined up off sides. You know, that would have sealed the game. Tom Brady did throw 2 interceptions.
That was it right there.
So I mean, there were some things that were we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I would say, you know, we had some self-inflicted wounds that we just weren't able to overcome. So I mean, here it is. You know, New England and LA. You know, in the Super Bowl. So you know, I mean, you can't take anything away from either one of those teams. You know, there probably were some plays that you wish you could have back on, you know, between the Saints and the Chiefs, but it is what it is. This is where we stand. It's crazy to think that New England is so hated that from a fan point of view, everybody's pulling for the Rams just because they're tired of seeing New England. But Belichick will be ready. Belichick will be ready, rest assured. And Sean McVay is gonna have to call a hell of a game. Great young man, but he's gonna have to call a hell of a game because he's going up against probably the greatest NFL coach of all time, and so he better be ready.
All right, Corey, you go next.
Oh man, nah, they didn't. What was he at, man? Yeah, they just didn't play no defense, man. Just the defense. That's what killed them. You know, they got bailed out a lot. It could have been worse in that first half. It could have been easily been down 28-0, but they made plays, which the defense is able to do. They got playmakers, but you know, just as far as being stoppers, you know what I'm saying, being able to defensive stoppers on the pass and the run, that's just where they got killed simply. Then they didn't get any pressure on Tom Brady. That's the you got to do. You know, even on plays, you know, I know he was getting a lot of those quick throws, you know, getting it out of his hands early, but there was plenty of times that he dropped back and you just looking and he just had all day, just camping out in the backfield and made it that easy, man. So this was gonna be their downfall. I knew this was gonna be their downfall. Was the defense? The defense completely let the offense let Patrick Mahomes down. Patrick Mahomes played his ass off. So they had 0 points at halftime and ended up with 31. I mean, shit, they catch fire. They catch fire at any time. Let me throw my diss in there. You know, they calling the Chiefs the Golden State Warriors, man, but they more like the Houston Rockets, man. They just can't get it done. You know what I'm saying? They look like the best in the regular season, but they just can't get it done in the end. You know, it's like they calling James Harden the best player in the NBA right now, but you know, I don't see any championships from him. So, so yeah, throw that in there. Vamoosh. Vamoosh, son of a Nah, man. Good season, man. Good season by the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be back. They'll when Brady's gone, who's gonna stop them? When
Right.
Brady's gone, who's gonna stop him unless they plug somebody in there in New England? But who knows how long Belichick will keep going. Chiefs gotta get some football players on defense though. In that secondary. They got to get some football players in that secondary because no matter how much time they had, and yeah, that's always a factor. The receiver's going to get open eventually, but that game, the secondary play yesterday, that was terrible, man. That was kindergartners could have played better coverage than that, man. It was like I don't know what kind of zone they were playing. Whether whether they just had
Right.
some guys lined up on the sideline and then the safeties playing prevent defense or something, and let's just leave the middle of the field open, man, because that's all it was all game, dog. Middle of the field. I'm looking at Julian Edelman taking off, man, and you seeing him. It's like, man, this dude's 10 yards in front of his defender, man, just pew right off the line. And yeah, just it was a good game, but it's just small things. It's why Belichick, not necessarily saying it couldn't happen to them, but this is why Belichick tries to he's all about discipline over talent. He wants players that are disciplined. You saw what happened with D Ford, and it's just a mental mistake. He in the heat of the moment, but lined up on the wrong side. Lined up on the wrong side, get calls for the offsides and negates an interception that would have sealed the game. The Chiefs would have been in the Super Bowl had D Ford been lined up on the right side of the ball. So it's just small things like that, man. And then, like I said, but even past that, like that shit happens. You got to have defense. You got to have defense, and just watching them all year, they caught a little hot. They got a little thing going. They held Oakland to 3 points, which isn't saying much. But then their crowning moment was the way they did Indianapolis. They played Indianapolis. I mean, shit, that was a great game defensively and unexpected, especially from how hot Indianapolis had been playing from mid-season and on. So. But they've just returned to who they were. Patriots had a great game plan, exploited their weaknesses, and they took advantage of it, man. And the hell was that, man? Yeah. So yeah, but they'll be back. Yeah, they'll be back. Let me see
All
what
right.
they're
So, all right. So I want to start off with the good, and then I want to start off with the bad. Then I will get into the good. All right. So the bad defense. Defense has been our weakness all year long. So the front four was decent. It was a lot of calls, and it was a couple calls that weren't called against their offensive line, but that's neither here nor there right about now. The cornerbacks, the slot receiver, what are they, safeties? Eric Berry. I understand why everybody was like, "Yo, we should have got whatever we could got for Eric Berry like a couple years ago." I understand. He's beaten cancer. He beat cancer. He came back from an injury. You don't play him in a high moment, and he hasn't played a single down in how many games? Like how many games? Like literally, he's been literally on the bench the whole year. Probably practiced a little bit, but has not played a game. But you want to go, like Lauren said, you want to go with Old Faithful. Like, don't get me wrong, I am one of the top, I guess you would say, supporters for Eric Berry. I wanted him to say, I was like, yo, I give up Marcus Peters.
So are you putting it on Eric Berry?
Yo, I'm putting it on. I'm not gonna just put it on Eric Berry. I'm putting it on.
Did you just say Marcus Peters? Hey, I heard somebody else talking about Peters today. Yeah, y'all really wanted Marcus Peters on your squad.
No. I said I'm giving up Marcus Peters, and I want to keep Eric Berry.
Okay, yeah. Most definitely, you do.
Yeah, but I'm not putting it only on Eric Berry. I'm putting it on the defensive coach and Eddie Reed. You do not just put one man on Rob Gronkowski.
No.
Especially somebody that's smaller than him, and especially somebody who's not played a few downs in a while.
And he's never been known. And he's never been known for pass coverage either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just did not understand it. Now I want to get off of that. I want to get off of that point, but that point's still in the air for me. You know what I'm saying? The passes that were not passes. We used hold on, what was it? It's a couple of them. We used a challenge flag, right? That was not a catch. He only had control of the ball when he was on the ground, after the ball hit the ground. So refs, that's on y'all. Refs, what is it? It was Edelman, and then who was the other dude? I forgot what his name is. But Hogan. Yeah, Chris Hogan. He didn't catch that ball either. And those were two big plays that shouldn't have been called because he didn't have control of the ball either.
The Hogan one went back though. The Hogan one, I tell you, Edelman caught it. Hogan didn't catch. Oh, wait, no.
No, they called Hogan to catch. It didn't come back. They called it a catch.
Because we lost our flag on that. We lost the timeout because of that.
Yeah, all of those.
They both the ones that both look the same, right?
Yeah, because Chris Hogan had the one where he tried to catch with one hand, essentially.
Yeah, no, they called that. They called that out.
No, they didn't call it back. They didn't call it back. All those catches that were challenged were all called catches. The one that we didn't challenge that we should have was the back shoulder to James White, where he dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying, going down to the ground. And I just think it was too hard to see it. But yeah, all of those were challenged and they were all upheld as catches because they were called catches and they were never overturned because there wasn't enough visual evidence to overturn them.
Which is some bullshit.
The one where Hogan was on the sideline, I thought they ruled it as an incomplete.
Not that one. He wasn't on the sideline. He was on the right half, you know what I'm saying, and he was diving and the ball was moving and it hit the ground simultaneously with him getting possession, but it did hit the ground. So by the rules in the NFL, if you don't have full control and then when it goes to the ground, it's supposed to be an incomplete pass.
Yep. And that brings me to what was you gonna say? Continue. My bad.
No. I was just gonna say that's again.
I gotta review it again. I gotta review it again and look at the plays. I know one of them.
Now one of them they did call. One of them they did.
I remember the one Edelman they called as a catch, and but then the one it was the one after that Hogan that caught one. The Edelman one that they ruled as a catch, but the one Hogan that caught it actually was more convincing than the Edelman one. The Edelman one to me wasn't a catch, but they called that a catch. But then when Hogan called it, they ruled it as incomplete when they did a review on it. Now we must be talking about two different Hogan catches, but there was another one that was
there were two different ones.
Incomplete. Yeah, they called it incomplete, but I was like, I looked at it, I was like, well, that ball looked more caught. It was moving around less than on the Edelman catch. No, I think they were kind of giving it back to you guys. Then even after that, they gave y'all back one on the and that was a bad call on that roughing the passer play. I don't know what the hell that was. Now that was bad. They need to do an investigation on that. Because I mean he just slapped him on the shoulder. Brady hadn't even thrown the ball yet. I got it. They got to explain that one right there because that doesn't even make sense. And that's in a crucial moment like everybody talking about the Saints one everybody should be talking about, but I think they called themselves giving it back to him on the next play when Eric Berry was holding Gronkowski the whole way down. But but still it was a horrible play.
Yeah, I think that that's the tough thing about football, with football being a contact sport. Honestly, I feel like with everything that's going on the line of scrimmage, if a quarterback, if a guy is reaching and he just happens to hit his helmet, like that's a play on. Now, if in any capacity he puts his hand on his face mask, then you go ahead and you throw a flag. But if he just slaps him across the helmet or something like that, like that's not even, to me, that's not even a roughing the passer. That's not a personal foul. Like he was trying to get to the play and he didn't get to it, and he reached and hit the dude on the head. I mean, what the hell we wear a helmet for?
Silly, man. Wait, but he actually, not even that. Even if he didn't get, wouldn't have been there. But he actually got to him. Brady hadn't thrown the ball yet. He still had the ball in his hands.
And then he flung it.
We'll pose a question after Randy get done. I'm gonna pose a question after Randy gets done.
So continuing on that little topic, JJ Watt tweeted, he says, "This is out of control. Game-changing plays. Life-changing plays." And he's talking about he was talking about the pass interference play on Chris Jones.
Yeah.
If that was not called, it's a completely different game. Now, before I continue, or before we move on to the next one, before we move on to your question, Lauren, my bad. The final thing I want to talk about was the Julius Edelman muff, where it touched his thumb, and it looked like it touched his shoulder a little bit, and they picked the ball. We picked the ball up and took it back. How was that? How was that not a touchdown? Please touch it. His thumb touched it. The announcers even said
he didn't.
Both of the announcers said it looked like it touched his thumb, and they could. It was not enough evidence for them to say it was not where it was. So the play would have to stand for a touchdown.
Nah, they were saying that until they kept viewing it from because even initially they thought it might have scraped his shoulder. And for some views, it looked like it was touching his thumb, but when they kept examining it from both angles, from all angles, and getting even better angles, it was showing. It wasn't showing both alleged touching points on the same camera angles. One angle would show it, from the side, and you would see that it didn't touch his fingers and then bounced up, but it would look like it was touching the shoulder. And then when the camera came around to a different point to where it shows, where it looks like it's touching the fingers, but you see it's clearly not touching the shoulder. That's what did it right there. That's how I knew. Yeah, he didn't touch the ball, and he knew he didn't touch the ball. He barely. It's just one of those. It was tiny bit. That's all it was. But there was enough. There was enough in that instant replay to show that he didn't touch it. It's just one of those moments, one of those weird moments that he barely got away with.
If there is no evidence to show that there is that he did and he did not touch the ball, it's free ball, I thought.
But they had evidence. That's what I'm saying. They had evidence.
No.
It was evidence on the instant replay.
It barely touched this pinky, or not pinky, but thumb. And it missed it. It jumped over that thumb. Bro, I'm telling you, me, my grandpa, and my uncle, we watched the replays multiple times. My grandpa's a hard motherfucker to get through.
Nah, y'all got them Chiefs. Y'all got them Chiefs, them rose-colored goggles on, man.
No, big dog. He's a Pittsburgh fan.
Red-colored them Chiefs red-colored goggles, man. You wanted to believe that's what you saw. Oh, you said you're a Pittsburgh fan?
He's a Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, so that makes it even worse. He definitely want New England to lose. So there you go. They there you go. Man, they
But
had
yeah,
conclusive evidence. They had conclusive evidence that showed that Edelman did not touch that ball.
no, big dog. But yeah, I'm just saying it was these key plays that went against the Kansas City Chiefs that described what happened majorly. And D Ford and Eric Berry. But Lauren, go ahead.
So I want to pose this question and I want both of you guys' opinion. Uh, should teams be able to have should they give teams one more challenge flag to be able to challenge a penalty?
Ooh. I'm gonna say so okay, all right, with that question, so let's say we lose the first challenge, right? So we lose a timeout. Are we sacrificing another timeout if we challenge again?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Corey?
Two challenges a game.
But perfect. Okay. So 2 challenges a game, but should one of those challenges should you be able to use one of those challenges to challenge a penalty?
What the challenge? Oh, the challenge and penalty.
Yes, sir.
That's a good idea.
That's good.
Trying to think, man, if there's any, because when I hear these ideas, I try to think, is there any flip side to what you're saying? Oh shoot, man. Hell, shoot, I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Like I said, I mean, to me, a challenge is a challenge. You know what I'm saying? How I choose to use my challenge is my motherfucking challenge. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel like that wasn't pass interference, or I feel like that wasn't roughing the passer, like let me use the challenge for the referee or the umpire, I guess in this case, to go look at the replay, because I want to say that if they could have challenged the roughing the passer penalty, that it changes the scheme of how that game ends up. Because instead of it being first down and 10, there's now pressure on New England because it's third down and 10, and it changes the way they even call the play. So that's why I just posed the question. I mean, it can go either way. Like I said, don't put the game in the Zebra's hands. You ain't got to worry about these type of things. But in the spirit of competition, you know what I'm saying, it would be something that I think they should explore. I'm not saying that they have to say, yeah, we should, but I think they should explore saying, okay, if you want to use your challenge to challenge a penalty versus a non-catch or a fumble, your call. Because most coaches won't, because they need to hold it for something that may happen later in the game. But you never know. It's your option as a coach. You take that risk.
That's definitely true. Yeah, and I guess we'll before we'll leave off with this. Tom Brady, I guess, wanted to speak to Patrick Mahomes after the game. What is you guys' thoughts on that? Corey, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Good for them. Good for them. Good for them.
All right, Lauren, you up next.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's a class act in the game of football. He recognizes greatness, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I mean, that's what he's being if you humble, you would do something like that. Go to the other locker room and be like, you played a hell of a game. I mean, you got to think, like, this, for all intents and purposes, this is his rookie year for Pat Mahomes. This is his rookie year, you know what I'm saying? And for him to do what he did, I mean, just puts him on puts him in a position that no other first year starter
Has
has
done.
done. You know, I mean, Marino was the closest. I think he threw for 5,048 touchdowns, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, he recognized greatness and he wanted to congratulate that win, lose, or draw because he probably know that, you know, if the Chiefs would have won the coin toss, that the game was probably over. So he just
Yeah.
want to recognize it. I got respect for that.
All right.
There you go.
Shut your
I'm
ass
not.
up.
I saw something talking about they talking about the coin toss. They should stop doing.
What you say?
Now I hear them, and that's not you, but I just hear they talking about changing the overtime rules and everything. You know, wow, come on.
So here's what I would say, because I don't believe that each team should get a possession. I don't believe that, honestly. If you're going to do that though, if you're going to go down that road, you shrink the time. Because what is it? Is it a 10-minute
5 minutes.
overtime?
No, it's 15.
No.
I think. 15,
You said 5
15.
minutes. He thinking
Thinking
of
basketball.
LeBron. Thinking of LeBron and them. Nah, it's
So it's
10
15
minutes.
15.
It's 10 minutes it's 10 minutes in the regular season, 15 in the playoffs, because playoffs have to have a conclusion in the time. Yeah. And then anything after that, they place it on, I think, like the 30-yard line or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, which the NFL should not go down that rabbit hole, but if you go down that rabbit hole, you get a 7-minute overtime period. That's it. That's it. If you can't play defense and get the ball back, you don't deserve to win. Straight up. But I wouldn't even go down that rabbit hole. The rules, the way they got it set up now, is perfect. It's perfect. You score a touchdown, game's over. You kick a field goal, the other team get a chance to come down, either tie the score or win the game with a touchdown. It's perfect. I think it's perfect. Leave it the way it is.
All right. So before we leave the NFL, I want to first congratulate the Hunt family for playing this shit smart. Patrick Mahomes will be getting an extension on his contract next year for 2020 up and on. So they're gonna pay him $200 million, which he'll, I think, or it's 2+. But what you got for me?
Nah, they got it's possible. That's not confirmed or anything. But it's a possibility that he could be the first once his
$200 million
when it's time for a contract extension in 2020. He's eligible. He could be the first NFL player with a $200 million contract. You don't think so, Lauren?
I don't think they should do it.
Why?
Yeah, please explain.
Well, but the main reason for me is that there is a 95% chance that there's gonna be a lockout in 2021. So you offer that contract, and then you gotta live by it, whether or not they play or not. You know what I'm saying? At least it's guaranteed money, which I would imagine this guaranteed money is gonna be quite a bit, because guaranteed money, you know, it's structured a little different how you pay it out. So I wouldn't do it. What I would do is I would have an offer on the table, and if they don't lock out, here's the offer. If they do lock out, as soon as the lockout's over, here's the offer. But I wouldn't do it before, because there's a lot of things that can happen in that collective bargaining agreement that can work against you if you do that contract before. So I would just say be careful. I mean, if anything, look at what the Patriots have done. Tom Brady is the GOAT of quarterbacks. Like, seriously, Tom Brady is the GOAT, and Tom Brady ain't making nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think Tom Brady may be the eighth or ninth highest paid quarterback. in the league. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's all about the organization.
You saying don't eat up the cap space?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think the collective bargaining will allow? Do you think the salary cap will rise up around by that time to where they can? You know, similar to what the NBA's been doing.
The owners are gonna have to. They're gonna have to ask for a salary cap increase because the way these salaries are coming out now, I mean, these players are making a lot of money. So I think from an ownership perspective, they're gonna have to ask for a salary cap increase, and it's gone up for the most part every year. But a $200 million contract, that's steep. That is steep. I mean, who else you got? Who else you going? I mean, you gotta who we gonna throw to? He can't throw to himself, and you gotta pay Tyreek. You gotta play Kelsey. Like those are the core three right there. You gotta make sure that they get their money. You can bring in other players the way that they do running backs anyway. You can find a running back that you can filter in to be effective, but you gotta pay that core three. Nah, he's not gonna get paid. Rest assured, he's not gonna get paid.
Oh, he got paid.
What?
The Williams got paid. Williams got paid earlier. I guess
Damian Williams.
You say like a few games.
What did he get? 1 year, $1.5 million. What did he get?
No,
500,000.
No. My grandfather said he's going to get paid. I guess after this year or something like that.
He's not getting paid. Running backs ain't getting paid in this league, and especially Damian Williams. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like when you look at the way he played, yeah, he played very well. But I'm gonna tell you what I would offer him as a running back if I'm the Chiefs. I'm gonna tell you what I'm offering. Here's $7 million. You want it? $7 million. I'm not giving you any more than $7 million. Yeah. So if that's getting paid, then yeah, he got paid. But I mean, nah, he's not gonna make any major money. He would have to have a full season of replicating what he did in kind of this little short period of time. But this was kind of lightning in the bottle. And I'll be honest with you, like Damian Williams was good in Miami. It was just the fact that Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake. Yeah.
He was more explosive, and so he became expendable. But the year before Kenyon Drake actually had his breakout year, Damian Williams actually ran for over 1,000 yards in that season. It was just the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you know, you had a younger, slightly above average talent level in Kenyon Drake. And so they was like, well, he's younger and he's cheaper. We'll just go with that option. So, nah, he's not going to get paid. That's going to be a tricky position for the Chiefs, I think, going forward, because that's one thing that they also missed in this game against the Patriots was the threat of Kareem Hunt, not only as a runner, but as a pass receiver as well. So that's going to be a tricky position going forward. Now, they do have him and then Darrell Williams. And maybe Darrell Williams makes a jump, and you can kind of have that tandem. But it's to be seen. It's to be seen.
Okay. Yeah. With the whole contract things, before I get off of this, the whole contract things with Tyreek Hill. The only reason why I say it's a good thing is because you get him paid, you get him locked up. Then all you have to worry about is T. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. That's it. Because you already have.
Not true. No, it is extremely tricky. The Chiefs got some issues because not only do you have those two over there with Hill and Kelsey, but you got D Ford and Chris Jones. You got to figure out who you gonna pay, who you gonna franchise, all of that shit, and it's not gonna be an easy decision. You know, I think what you got to do is you got to pay your offensive stars, and you know your defensive players. You're just gonna have to figure out how to make it work. Maybe you franchise D for it this next season, and then you see what kind of money you can squeeze out to give him paid, and then you franchise Chris Jones, and then hopefully you can either by that time you can restructure Houston's contract too, because they're gonna have to restructure his contract. Like, there's no questions about that. I mean, he's gonna be making $18-19 million. You gotta restructure that, or you gotta think about releasing him.
Yeah. All right. So before we get off the NFL, one more thing. I told you guys, Kareem Hunt might be back. And beating bitches is accepted in the NFL. But all right. So let's move over to the NBA real quick. Move over to the NBA. Kyrie Irving, he texted LeBron and said that he realizes what he meant when he was in Cleveland about being the leader of a team. So what is you guys' thoughts on that?
Kyrie Irving is slick in every move that he makes. Now, you know, on the surface and everything, it looks like, he's coming to his senses, and we got some closure to the whole saga in Cleveland, and well, just imagine if he would have said this while he was on the Cavs, could have won more championships or whatever. Maybe LeBron would have stayed. And that's clearly not what it is, man. This is a shot at Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum mainly, directly at him. That's all this was, man. He's comparing himself. He's basically saying, I'm the LeBron of the team. It's not like LeBron came out of nowhere. See, it would have been different if we would have got the news report like, hey, y'all, man, I just happened, you know how LeBron talks. I just happened to pick up my phone. I'm having dinner with K-Love, and I get a call from Kyrie. You know, he gets some. He says it in the interview or something, but nah, this was actually Kyrie disclosing this damn thing. You know, Kyrie's slick in the way he moves, but man, I've always seen right through him. You know, I like him as a person. I like him as a basketball player. Interesting, weird guy, but you know, he's slick in the way he moves. And yeah, this was completely a shot at Jason Tatum, basically saying that I was the same way. I was young. I didn't know then. I was young and thinking I was leader and could do it all myself, and didn't want to listen to the veteran. Like I can relate to him now. I get it now. And I bet you them Celtics looking over there like, man, who this nigga think he is, man? The Celtics got to get it together. They got to figure out something, man. It's only one basketball, man, and you got two starting fives basically on that squad, man. It's too many egos. You see Marcus Morris and Jaylen Brown getting in shoving match, and I'm not going to put too much stock into that. It happens times, even on winning teams. You saw Draymond Green earlier, but we all know the Golden State Warriors are going to shut shit down at the end of the season. So, you know, but yeah, it's a lot going on in Boston, and you know they're not where they should be right now. You know, they were projected to be, you know, at least in the top three, at the very least in the top three of the East, but they're currently sitting at the 5 position. And they've just been struggling. So, that was a complete dig at I'm just gonna say straight up Jason Tatum. I think it's him and Jason Tatum because they've been having friction all year, and yeah, you know he wants to be the next Kobe. He wants to be the Boston Kobe.
Yeah, more. What you got for me?
I'm gonna go with that statement, and I'm gonna raise you one.
Ooh,
this was a message to the organization. That's who this was to. This was to the organization, because you forget that he's a free agent at the end of this year. So
yeah,
he can go to New York if he wants to. He can go anywhere he wants to go. Hell, he can go to LA if he wants to.
Oh, okay,
This was a shot. This was a shot at the organization saying, I should have stayed in Cleveland and played with LeBron y'all better keep me because these players need to play with me because I'm now the vet. I'm now the vet on the squad with all the talent. I'm the alpha male on this team. So this was a shot at the organization saying y'all don't forget that I'm a free agent this year and I can go anywhere that I want to go. We talked about this last year, how Brad Stevens was going to have his hands full this year. And he's got his hands full this year trying to figure out the right scheme with the players that he has because they ain't have Kyrie last year. They ain't have Gordon Hayward last year. And now they trying to put these superstar pieces back into a team that gelled extremely well last year. And so, yeah, I mean, there's friction in Boston. But one thing I will say is that I do trust Danny Ainge to make the right move. He hasn't made a bad move in quite some time. So if he gets rid of Kyrie, I'm going to err to the side of trusting Danny Ainge and the direction that he wants to go with the franchise. Kyrie is a hell of a talent. He is a hell of a talent. He's balling his ass off right now. But yeah, there's something about him that's really, really weird, and it makes him in some ways expendable because he doesn't want to fit in with the team. It seems like sometimes it seems like he just doesn't want to, and that's a problem, you know, because basketball is in every form of fashion a team sport, and so I don't. You know, I mean, I don't give a damn how good you are. You're gonna need some help to win games, to win titles, this, that, and the third. I mean, Jordan doesn't win any damn titles unless he has the supporting cast that he has. He don't win no damn titles.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't like what Kyrie's doing. I don't like it. You know, I think he just needs to stay humble, play some basketball, and let the chips fall where they fall. I mean, you're not a top 3 team in the East, not even in the East right now. You're not a top 3 team. Like, you know, you start talking that shit once you up there with Toronto, and I mean, fuck, Milwaukee got the best record in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee freaking Bucks have the best record in the NBA right now. And so, nah, he just needs to, in the words of the great Avery Johnson, just go out there and play some basketball. Go play some basketball, Kyrie. Kyrie, just pass that ball. You got twins. You got Al Horford. Throw Al Horford the ball.
All right. So, I'm just let y'all know this. Kyrie Irving will not be a part of the Boston Celtics before the trade deadline. He'll be gone. But that's just my take on it. All right.
No, back that shit up. What?
Yeah.
You saying they gonna trade Kyrie by the trade deadline?
Yes.
Put something on it. You gotta put something on that shit.
What am I trying to? What you want me to put on it? Which one we put on it?
Man,
for who? For who?
For who? They'll be getting probably draft picks and a player. No one lost it.
You think he's going to New York?
Yeah.
Nah, New York would be stupid to give up draft picks for Kyrie. They would be stupid.
Hey, it's New York. That's one of the places. That's one of the places Kyrie wants to go anyway.
They would be stupid to not wait to the end of the season because he's not going to make them any better this year. So it ain't no point in even wasting the draft picks. Take your risk and try to get him in the off season.
Because the Nets don't need him. The Nets definitely don't need him.
Nah, he wouldn't want to go to fucking Brooklyn anyway. Ain't nothing in Brooklyn. He would. He's somebody. What your boy gonna tell on him? What's your boy from the Lakers? They got traded there.
D'Angelo.
D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell. Yeah. He gonna be snitching on Kyrie.
D'Angelo been balling though, man. The Nets, man, with Spencer, him and Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie.
Yeah, Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie. All right, so yeah, moving on in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony has been traded to the Chicago Bulls, who have waived his contract. So the Rockets traded to Chicago Carmelo Anthony with money, and Chicago waived him. And now, if the waiver goes through, Carmelo Anthony will be a free agent. And wait for it. A team that is interested in Carmelo Anthony is the Los Angeles Lakers. But now let's have this conversation. Now let's go to the Lakers man in the room. Come on, Corey. Come on. Tell me what's up with the team.
Nah, that's not an option, man. That'll be stupid. There's nothing even really going in that. It's just that'll be done. They already got enough small forwards. Already got Ingram and Kuzma. Josh Hart can operate as a powerful Josh Hart or Caldwell Pope. Nah, man. Nah, that's no good. That's not gonna work. There's nothing to really even elaborate on. Why would you do it? Other than, unless you want to do Carmelo a favor and, have him go out on a high note in his career, but that'd be the only person you're doing a favor is Carmelo Anthony. He just don't have it, man. He don't have that bounce. He don't have that bounce in his step. No, he's just a spot up shooter, and he's not a great shooter. Not really a great shooter anymore. On top of that, back then he was one of the top shooters, but now everybody's shooting threes and hitting at a high rate now. The game done passed them by, unfortunately. Just that simple. It would just be a friend move if they put him on the Lakers or whatever. That little clique they got, D Wade, Carmelo, huh?
I said the Banana Boat Boys.
The Banana Boat Boys, exactly. That's all that would be. There's no benefit from getting them. Unfortunately, I don't like to really down to Carmelo's a great guy. I think he's always, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but he's always showed himself to be a good teammate. He screws the offense up, but I've never seen him, really criticizing anybody, or even the situation where Phil Jackson was, fucking him over in New York. And that whole saga, Carmelo was basically humble during that situation. So he's a good guy. He just, like I said, the game that passed him by. There's nothing to gain from this. Nah. Stop playing, LA. We're playing like that.
All right, Lauren, what you got for me, man?
Got them all for the move. Go Lakers.
Gold and purple. Purple.
Think of Corey. I'm gonna ask you this. If they could sign him to the veterans minimum, right?
Which is like a mil.
Yeah. Let's say they could sign him to the veterans minimum. Corey, I'm gonna throw you some names. I want you to tell me if they're better than Carmelo Anthony. Isaac Bonga.
You said what?
Isaac Bonga. Is he better than Carmelo?
You said Isaac Bonga. Who the hell is Isaac Bonga?
He's on the roster. He's on the Lakers roster right now.
Isaac Bonga. Oh, he must be in the reserve. Reserve. You like the 16th man.
Yeah, Alex Caruso.
If that's what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? You just want to give him a roster spot. Why not? Why not?
That's why I'm saying they just want to give him a roster spot.
Isaac Bonga and Alex Caruso aren't getting any playing time or minutes.
I didn't say you had to give him minutes. I just said put him on the bench and have him doing
That's
this.
what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
You could be the one to hold the bench back.
Yeah.
That's my friend. He just did that dunk. Oh my God, so amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Carmelo's a top-notch cheerleader. If that's what you're looking for, then I guess pull the trigger.
Carmelo needs to tie his sneakers in a knot and hang them up. Tie your sneakers in a knot and hang them up.
Might as well
hang them up, Carmelo.
But we'll go find Stephon Marbury and sign him on the squad, man. That's crazy. Ain't no way in hell.
That'd be a bad move for any team in the league. I'm serious. Any team in the league that wants to sign Carmelo it's a bad move. It's a bad move. Like I wouldn't give up a roster spot. I wouldn't pay him shit, like nothing. I mean, but now let me give Carmelo just a smidge of credit. Let me give him a smidge of credit. You ain't fucking up Carmelo Anthony's money. Like this dude get buyout after buyout after buyout to make sure that his money stays intact. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give him credit where credit's due. You're not getting ready to mess up Carmelo's money, but nah. Anybody that picks up Carmelo is no longer a watchable team.
Woo, I'm glad my Chicago Bulls got rid of him that fast. That was in and out. This is the way I like it.
Yeah, I don't even like it.
Now you got to get rid of Jabari.
Jay Barry.
I really do think they're gonna keep him. To be honest with you, I do think they're gonna keep him.
They better not.
He's an integral piece to y'all building process.
That's what people have said, and I'm just like, no, stop, chill, though.
They need to start tanking for one of them Duke boys.
Yeah, RJ Barrett. I'll take RJ Barrett over Zion because we need that position. Honestly, we got Wendell Carter and then Bobby Portis and then a couple of another person. So yeah, we need that small forward spot because Denzel Valentine ain't doing it. But all right, so now let's get to the finale of the show tonight. Let's get into the boxing ring, baby. AB, aka Save a Lot, versus Pac-Man Jones. All right, and the reason why I said Save a Lot is because
hey, might as well. Pac-Man. That's what we need to do. They need to do that. Put him in the ring with Pac-Man Jones.
But the reason why I said that because last Monday, if you guys didn't listen, it was we said that Adrian Broner is Walmart to Floyd Mayweather's what do we call Floyd? Farmers Market. We call them the farmers market. Floyd was a farmers market, and AB was Walmart. So with the fight that happened this Saturday, the delusion on this man, I don't know what was going on. It was possibly a setup fight, but he was talking about how Pacquiao wasn't hitting him. He was dodging. He was hitting that ooh. Pacquiao wasn't touching him. He only hit me like 1 or 2 times. And I'm like, did this nigga stuck you? Like, this man stuck you quite a lot. And I looked at the scorecards. The scorecards did not lie. Pacquiao was scoring double digits half the damn time. Wow. AB didn't really score at all. Barely scored. You know what I'm saying? Like, his highest, I think, was double digits one time, maybe. 10 maybe one time. Yeah. While Pac-Man was eating him alive. But I'm gonna let you guys give your thoughts on it. So Corey, did you watch the fight and what did you think?
Yeah, I watched the fight. I was nice. I scored it. I don't score the traditional way. I scored about for who won the round. I give a point, and I had it I had it Manny Pacquiao 9 rounds to 3, and I was being nice, giving Adrian Broner 3 rounds. Really, probably, but I was being nice to give him 3. He just completely got outclassed. Adrian Broner's career is over, man. He's been exposed. I mean, shit, in his last, they talking about last 7 fights. That was funny little exchange between him and Jim Gray. So if I'd be 7-0 against you, nigga. Nah, ever since he's been undefeated, ever since he fought Malignaggi, which he barely escaped that fight. Ever since that fight, I mean, shoot, that's where all his defeats have come. You know, in that time span, his last 10 fights, he's and won. You know, has had that tie, which really should have been another loss for him. Should have been the 5th loss. You know, you could that whole his whole aura is just gone. You know, he's able to still entertain. That's why people keep that very entertaining person. But just as far as boxing, he had a lot of promise, had a lot of potential, but there's a lot more promising talent out there today. You got Terrence Crawfords, the Errol Spences, Mikey Garcia, who just beat him. Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence fight in March. You got all type of talent out there. Yeah, man, Broner's just not. He didn't have that focus to begin with, and it's something that you need to stay consistent with. It takes a complete mindset change. You just got to change your whole lifestyle, and I don't think Broner keeps getting in trouble with the law and having too many distractions, and running his mouth and this and that. He got a nice little payday, but I mean, he doesn't look at the bigger picture. His pot should be much higher than what the fuck it is now. He should be fighting in higher price fights. Every fight should be pay-per-view. But
yes, he should
lose to a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's on the back end of his career. He's not who he used to be. Manny Pacquiao, even in the fight, he wasn't as sharp. He kind of looks, some of the combos look sloppy. He hit him with some nice stuff, but not necessarily sloppy. It just he wasn't as sharp as he usually is. And you can attribute that to, like I said, old age. He's 40 years old. Meanwhile, Adrian Broner's only 29. He's supposed to be in his prime. Lose to the old guy. That's embarrassing. Just Manny Pacquiao just lost to Jeff Horn, just a couple fights ago. He's taken a few losses, just not the fighter he used to be, but he's still a legend, one of the best pound for pound fighters ever. One of them, like I said, probably top 20 or so. Top 20 pound for pound fighters in history. So, he's always got that, but yeah, just bad loss for a bad loss. And I don't think he's going to. I think a lot of people just had enough of his antics. They got to see some winning. You got to put some winning. You got to put some winning behind it. You can lose every now and then, but to go, since you've been fighting stiff competition, because when you were undefeated, you were fighting a bunch of nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Up to you beating Paulie Malignaggi, and now you get outclassed by Marcos Maidana, who Mayweather took out twice. Then you got Sean Porter, who's a good boxer, but based off what your potential was supposed to be, that was supposed to be his fight. Mikey Garcia completely embarrassed him, and just fighter after fighter. Yeah, it's just nah, it's over for him, man. It's over. As far as him being the best, he could still box and give us good fights, give us entertaining fights against a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in boxing, a lot of people he can fight against. But as far as being the top dog and being top billing, nah, that ship sailed, man.
All right, Lauren, what you got for us?
Hey, it ain't nothing to say. It ain't nothing to say. I mean, Pacquiao I ain't gonna say Pacquiao beat his ass. Pacquiao outboxed him in this particular boxing match. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where Broner's head was, because damn sure wasn't on boxing. But you know, I mean, Pacquiao. I mean, he's a class act. You know what I'm saying? I'm concerned that he may keep trying to fight a little bit too long, and he he may run into the wrong dude that may stick one on him, and might really put him to sleep.
He already has. But that when he fought what's his name? Juan Manuel Marquez. It was after the Mayweather fight. Yeah. It was his fourth fight against Marquez. Yeah, Marquez put him down.
He's talking about for a long. He's talking about for a long time, not a good time. I post from Drake.
Yeah. So then, I mean, it wasn't a good fight at all. And Pacquiao's over the hill and Broner is playing in left field somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't even throwing punches.
Nah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm glad I didn't watch the actual fight. I watched the replay. I've watched the fight since it aired live. And terrible. I mean, Broner is not doing anything for his legacy, his image, like nothing. Maybe it's too many headshots or something for him, but he looked terrible in that fight. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, man. What you saying, Corey? All right. Well, yeah, man. I'm gonna just. I'm not the biggest boxing fan out there at all. I'm just somebody who, like I said, I watch the scoring cards and I will kind of watch the fight here and there, but.
Get into it. Get into it. Boxing's where it's at, man. There's so much talent out there too.
Yeah, so I've heard. He has the talent. He still doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the mind frame yet. Still, to this day, he doesn't have that mind frame where he'll lock into the gym for 4 to 5 months before the fight. You know what I'm saying? He still wants to party, drink, and do all this. I still don't know if he's doing mixtapes and albums still and rapping and all that. I still don't know if he's doing all that. But if he locks into the gym, I still believe he can make somewhat of a comeback. You know what I'm saying? He can be AB that we all know because he can sell a fight. He will say the most outrageous bullshit in the world. He will draw attention to his fight. He will get you to pay that. He will get you to pay that price. A premium price, not right now, but. He still, if he locks in, he has the ability to be able to do all that, like a Floyd Mayweather. And dog, stop comparing. Everybody, stop comparing him to Floyd, please.
No, he's done. Now, one thing, now AB's at the point in his career, he is taking a lot of. He's just got to win some of these fights. He's taking a lot of big name fights, some tough fights. It's just it's just about winning them. He's just not. A lot of it comes down to he's just not good enough. He's just really not good enough. He's definitely, a lot of guys do a lot of partying too. He's not the only one. He puts some work. He puts a lot of work ethic into his fighting too. It's just, I think he's just limited in what he can do at this point. I think AB is AB. He is who we think he is, man. Yeah, he's going against some tough fighters, and they putting him down. He's not even good enough. Yeah, I know he's 40, but Pacquiao's still a great fighter. He still has technique, and yeah, that's shoot. AB ain't got nothing for that, man. He fell in and he said, yeah, I think I just want to survive this. I don't want to go down like this, man. That's exactly what happened, man. To this day.
Oh Lord, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, man. And so on that note, this is Sports Talk with the Average Guy, man. With both my co-hosts Corey and Lauren. And what we need you guys to do right now, if you listen to it now, you know what I'm saying, do it now, or if you listen to us on the replay, what I need you to do is go to the Average Guy Podcast or in the links in the description below and go ahead and follow Lojo Speaks. Lauren, go ahead and tell them what Lojo Speaks is about.
Lojo Speaks, man. Everything fatherhood, man. You know, we gonna build up the fathers, man, bring them back to the forefront. So check it out, man. Facebook, lojospeaks.com, coming soon.
All right, and for all your sports needs, man, Corey, Grit Sports Media, the mastermind behind it all. Grit Sports Media. Corey, let them know what it's about, man.
About sports. Come look, anything sports, man. It's independent sports from
if you looking for historic facts.
It's independent sports, unbiased. You know what I'm saying? My spectrum goes deeper than sports, but even on that level, you know, talking about sports, you're gonna get it from a real ass dude. It ain't watered down. It ain't ESPN trying to, you know, fake you. Give it to you raw, ODB style. Check out the damn page.
All right, man.
And comment. Bring up a subject. If you having water cooler talk, and you know what I'm saying, y'all got certain questions you want to ask, you want to get down to it. I'm the fucking guy you come to. The Grit is where you come to. Holla at us. You know what I'm saying? We'll settle it all. We'll help you with your water cooler talk. We'll make you sound smart at work. act like you actually listen or watch sports. So come to the Grit.
There you go. Go ahead. Go to the Grit. Go to both of those. Lojo Speaks in the link in the description. Grit Sports Media in the description. And also, what I need you guys to do is make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on Facebook, shout out to you. Shout out to the Facebook viewership. Shout out to the Twitch viewership, man. Shout out to the Mixer family. All that being said, man, we'll be back Tuesday and Thursday, 9 o'clock with the Average Guy Podcast, man. And if you're looking for those, SoundCloud, iTunes, etc., anywhere you get your podcast, type in the Average Guy Podcast, and you'll be able to find us, man. And on that note, man, we are out.
Check out the Tuesday show. Check out the Tuesday show. It's gonna be big because we're gonna talk about. One thing I know we got to talk about is fake news. Fake news. We're gonna go big on that one because it's been going on, but it's been heavy over this past couple weeks. So, yeah.
All right. So stay tuned for that Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Make sure you get there early. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button on YouTube, The Average Guy Studios. If you're not, Facebook, The Average Guy Podcast, Twitch, The Average Guy Podcast, and Mixer, The Average Guy Podcast. If you're on either one of these segments, make sure you hit that subscribe. Not segments. If you're on either one of these platforms, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the hearts. Hey, I'm letting y'all know, man. We here. We ain't going nowhere. On that note, we're out, y'all. Peace.